of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is a logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. Vast numbers of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are going to live together in a smoothly functioning society. Our invisible governors are in many cases unaware of the identity of their fellow members in this inner cabinet. They are given the right to govern by their qualities of natural leadership, their ability to supply needed ideas, and by their key position in the social structure. Whatever attitude one chooses to take towards this condition, it remains a fact that in almost every act of our daily lives, whether in the spheres of politics or business, in our social conduct or our ethical thinking, we are dominated by the relatively small number of persons, a trifling fraction of our over 120 million, who understand the mental processes and social patterns of the masses. It is they who pull the wires which control the public mind, who harness old social forces and contrive new ways to bind and guide the world. It is not commonly known how necessary these invisible governors are to the orderly functioning of our society. In theory, every citizen may vote for whom he pleases. Our Constitution does not envision political parties as part of the mechanism of government, and its framers seem not to have envisioned to themselves the existence in our national politics of anything like the current political machine. But the American voters soon found that without organization and direction, their individual votes, cast perhaps for dozens or hundreds of candidates, would produce nothing but confusion. So invisible governments in the shape of rudimentary political parties arose almost overnight. Ever since then, we have agreed, for the sake of simplicity and practicality, that party machines should narrow down the choice of field to 2 candidates, or at the most 3 or 4. In theory, every citizen makes up his mind on public questions and matters of private conduct. In practice, if all men had to study for themselves the enormous economic, political, and ethical data involved in every question, they would find it impossible to come to a conclusion about anything. We have voluntarily agreed to let an invisible government sift the data and high spot the outstanding issues so that our field of choice shall be narrowed to practical proportions. From our leaders and the media they use to reach the public, we accept the evidence of the issues bearing down upon public questions from some ethical teacher, be it a minister, a favorite essayist, or merely prevailing opinion. We accept a standardized code of conduct to which most conform all the time. In theory, everybody buys the best and cheapest commodities offered to him on the marketplace. In practice, if everyone went around pricing and chemically testing before purchasing the dozens of soaps, fabrics, or brands of bread which are for sale, then economic life would become hopelessly jammed. To avoid such confusion, society consents to have its choices narrowed to ideas and objects brought to us through propaganda of all kinds. There is consequentially a vast and continuous effort going on to capture our minds in the interest of some policy or commodity or idea. It might be better to have, instead of propaganda, committees of wise men who would choose our rulers, dictate our conduct, private and public, and best decide upon the best types of clothes for us to wear and the best kind of food for us to eat. But we have chosen the opposite method, that of open competition. We must find a way to make free competition function with reasonable smoothness. To achieve this, society has consented to permit free competition to be organized by leadership and propaganda.